Good day. Welcome to Space Summary. We're going to cover topics from November 15 to the 29th. So let's first start with this cool image. So it really highlights the progression of Uranus imaging. So in 1986, we first had Voyager 2 explore the planet. And then we have several telescopes after that. So in 2002, then 2022, that's the image that Hubble gave it. And then James Webb Telescope, that's the latest image that we have of Uranus. Really interesting how there's a progression and it's more real to life imaging of the planet itself. Really interesting stuff. Next, we have India. They plan to build a moon space station by 2035. So they're going to have that in orbit around the moon. And there's going to be a plan to put astronauts on the moon by 2040. And these are some of the goals that they have, are a broader roadmap to the development of their human space flight and lunar exploration program. The lunar base is also a vision that they're creating. They want to create that lunar base before 2050, really to enable further scientific exploration and potentially serving as a hub for future interplanetary missions. So, once again, space station by 2035, astronauts on the moon by 2040, and then a lunar base just before 2050. Cool stuff. Next, we have the radio message that was famously sent out to space. It actually went towards the star cluster M13, which is about 25,000 light years away. It was sent 50 years ago on November 16 of 1974, and the message itself, it contained basic information about humanity, so it included numbers, DNA structure, the human figure, the solar system, Earth's location in that solar system, which is our solar system, and really intended to be a symbolic demonstration of our ability to communicate with extraterrestrial civilizations. Why was the star cluster M13, also known as the Hercules Globular Cluster, selected? Well, it was a target because of its dense concentration of stars, which increased, at least that's what they thought back then, the likelihood of reaching a potentially habitable system. Like I said, it lies about 25,000 light years away and making it prominent and really an accessible target for the powerful telescope that we had 50 years ago. Next, we have 9 possible moon landing sites announced for Artemis 3 mission. Of course, the mission is aiming to return astronauts to the lunar surface for the first time, but it is expected to be no earlier than 2026. Next, we have Shotwell predicts. Oh, I didn't finish writing the title, but she predicts that Starship is going to replace Falcon program and also the Falcon Heavy. So, some of the quotes that she said in a recent conference was, "I would not be surprised if we fly 400 Starship launches in the next 4 years." And for reference, SpaceX right now is aiming to have about 148 Falcon 9 launches this year of 2024. Next year, they're going to have about 150, I believe, was the announcement from Elon Musk last I heard. And really, Falcon 9 could be retired alongside with the Dragon spacecraft, which is currently used for crew and cargo missions in as little as 6 to 8 years as customers transition over to the Starship program. Also interesting to note, an upcoming tender offer for higher share price is expected to boost the valuation of SpaceX to about $250 billion. Next, we have Donald Trump. He is expected to view the Flight 6 of Starship. And that flight was completed on November 19. The the booster itself, the heavy booster that you see on your screen there, it did not attempt a catch, as from my understanding, on liftoff there was damage done to the tower, the communications tower at the top of the tower, which and I believe SpaceX didn't want to attempt the catch, even though it sounds like it would have been a successful catch, but they decided to err on the side of caution and not potentially damage any of the ground infrastructure. And they did a splash landing, a soft landing in the Gulf of Mexico for the heavy booster. The Starship itself, which is closest to the bottom left, it continued on and then also had a soft landing in the water. Now, real quickly after Flight 6, we learned that there might be a potential date for Flight 7, and that is expected to be about January 11 of 2025. So NASA really obtained some special permission from the Australian government to observe the landing of Starship in the waters off the coast of Australia, and this document really highlighted that the sort of the date that they're targeting would be January 11. Very exciting. And then the launch cadence is getting smaller and smaller, like a shorter window of time as each launch progresses. Very cool and interesting to see how rapid this Starship program is developing. Related news, SpaceX really announced that they're testing the heat shield materials in a simulated Martian atmosphere. So they want to see that the first Starship in that's going to be landing on Mars or attempting to land on Mars in 2026, they're really trying to see how the heat shield would fare in that environment. So really cool that they're already thinking ahead a couple years out. And following the election success of Donald Trump and I guess the rumors that Artemis program, not really Artemis, but the Space Launch System may be canceled, the team at NASA went ahead with stacking the Artemis 2 rocket very shortly after, really to say, hey, look, our rocket is here and it exists and we're ready to go and we're pumped for it. But who knows whether the Space Launch System will still be funded and still go ahead with all the missions that they have in the future. And despite very strict controls, the Ryugu asteroid sample is rapidly colonized with terrestrial life. So this sample was collected by the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency using their space probe Hayabusa 2, and it collected about 5.4 grams from the asteroid and it returned it back to Earth on December 5th of 2020 after a 6-year long mission. And really no surprise here. I know they're trying to be as strict with not contaminating the sample, but if you look at bacterial life and life itself, it finds a way. And one of the interesting things I've read is that there's even been species of microbes discovered in NASA clean rooms that not only evade disinfection methods, but also adapt and use their cleaning agents as a food source. So not surprised that something at least the nano scale can contaminate something that's coming from outside of our planet. Next, we have Rocket Lab. They've launched two successful missions in less than 24 hours. And that's their Electron rocket, which is a two-stage, partially reusable launch vehicle, mainly servicing the commercial small satellite launch market. Really excited for their work. They're going to be working on getting a larger launch vehicle up. I believe it's called Neutron. And given the success that Rocket Lab has had lately, their stock, which is ticker RKLB, has been up over 500% in the past 6 months. Let's see if their success can continue going. Next, we have Dragon launch vehicle. It's been selected. It's going to go on the Falcon Heavy for a fixed price tag of $256.6 million. Now, from what I've read in terms of the figures, it sounds like this might be an expendable rocket with no reuse, but remains to be seen, as that has not been officially confirmed. But for the price tag, that is what is expected, at least from what I've had in terms of sources. Now, the launch window is expected to be between July 5th of 2028 to July 25 of 2028, and the Dragonfly is expected to explore the Titan moon of Jupiter. So this is really important to note that NASA's belief in this launch system, given that it's launching radioisotope power source, sort of a type of nuclear energy, a nuclear fuel. And when Starship aims to achieve the same classification, it'll be a game changer. Next, we have ESA. They're studying reusable rocket development. So they've put out a call for, tenders and projects that could put 60 tons into low Earth orbit. And they're looking at making sure that this launch vehicle would be reusable. So this was published on the 20th of November. And while the call remains active, it was briefly removed for a short period of time, but really it highlights that their development roadmap involves reuse, which is very interesting. I know back in the day, Ariane Space, which is also affiliated with ESA, they said that reuse was not possible for launch vehicles, and they are eating their words. So more details to come for this project in early December, and potential funding discussions at the late 2025 ESA Council meeting is expected. And lastly, we have a cool image. It's not really new news, but I saw this image and I thought it looked spectacular, so I wanted to share it. So China, of course, is testing inflatable space modules. So this was actually launched on November 12, 2022 to their space station, and the module itself was first inflated on December 22 of 2022. But the first image of the inflatable space module was released approximately a year later, on November 29 of 2023, and it really highlights their aspiration for space exploration and development of their program. And in comparison, International Space Station has something sort of similar. It's the Bigelow Expendable Activity Module, also known as BEAM, which was launched and installed on the ISS in April of 2016 for a 2-year experimental mission, just to test the viability of expandable habitat technology in space. And that is it for us today. Look for more updates next time. Please subscribe and have yourself a wonderful day. Take care.